Hi. So this is a math lesson that you guys might be working on today if you haven't already solved this word problem. I'm going to do that with you. And I mentioned yesterday that I was going to use a number choice that is not one of the number choices on here. But I also kind of wanted just to have a quick review of what our math strategies are when we're solving problems, things that we can do to help ourselves solve problems. So we can count by ones, so you can count on your fingers, you can make a quick draw, you could do tally marks. You could also use objects. So again, if you have beans or pennies or buttons, maybe you have paper clips, cereal, anything at home that helps you do counting, you could use that. We could use that strategy of counting on, where you start with the number 12 and say 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Counting on, remember, only works when you are usually doing an adding problem, or if you understand that what you're counting on is how much you need to get to the answer. So like this morning when I did the morning video to show you the days of school, and yesterday your challenge was to see how many days are left. A lot of you did counting on to get to 180, and you knew that you were finding how many days were left. You could also use tens and ones and do 10 rods, but make sure that you label them as being a group of 10. You could do 10 frames, or you could use a number line, and you can use a number line for addition or subtraction, up to you. And we haven't used number lines a whole lot, but I would encourage you to give that a try if that's a strategy that you haven't tried before. And your number line actually doesn't even have to start at the number 1. My number line right here starts at the number 7, and it just goes to 16. And the problem is 9 and 6 more, and I can start at 9 and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I get to 15. So that's just a little review of strategies that we can use to help ourselves solve problems. The other strategy that I didn't mention on here, but I'm probably going to send to you on Seesaw, just a picture of friendly tens, all of the ways that we know that we can make 10. And so when you're adding or subtracting, if you see easy ways to make a 10, that's really going to be helpful to you. So let's take a look at this problem. This one is different than yesterday's. Yesterday's was a subtraction, and this one is an addition. So we're going to be putting things together. So it says, the leprechaun has blank green hats. And remember, I said I'm going to put some numbers in here that aren't the number choices that are available here. And so I put the number 42. The leprechaun has 42 green hats and 18 yellow hats. How many hats does he have all together? And so they have that word all together, so we know that we're going to be using an addition or a plus sign. So 42 and 18, those are numbers that I'm using that are not options right here, but your number choices here are 27 and 3, 38 and 7, or 62 and 8. So I'm going to actually do two strategies for you with this. The first one I want to use is counting on. So you could say, okay, 42, and I chose 42 because that's bigger than 18. If I put 18 first and do counting on, then I'm going to have to do 42 circles, or 4 groups of 10 and 2 more. You could try that if you want to. That might be a little trickier to add together. But I'm going to choose that big number so that what I'm counting on is a little bit less. So 42 and then 18 more. And I'm just going to do 18 ones. And I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So you could say 42 and 18 more. 42 and count on. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. And so we know that all together there are 60 hats. And so I'm going to label that answer. 60 hats. I'm going to circle that answer. And my number sentence would be 42 and 18 more altogether is 60. So that's a strategy that most of you would probably be able to do, the counting on strategy. I'm going to show you a different one. If you want to do tens and ones, really looking for that way to find those friendly tens. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to do tens and ones and say 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42. Again, I'm going to label those as a group of 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42. So these are the 42 green hats, and then 18 yellow hats. And I know 18 is 10 and 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and I'm seeing that there's a friendly 10. I know that 8 and 2 is 10. If I put those together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I go like this and say, well, here's another group of 10, then I really just have to count by tens and say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then I would still say 60 hats, and that 42 and 18 more all together is 60. So if you haven't tried this problem yet, you can actually plug in any numbers that you'd like to if you want to send me something on Seesaw where you've tried some different numbers. If you're somebody who wants to go big and try some numbers maybe in the hundreds or in the 80s or 70s, give it a try. You also have 3 more papers that I haven't talked to you about time. And a lot of you have sent me on Seesaw your time papers that you've already done. I think actually most of you who have sent me work on Seesaw, I bet you're probably already done with these. You guys have gotten really good at telling time to the hour. And so again, that shorthand is the hour hand. And so it's pointing to the 1. So right here I would say 1 o'clock. Right here that shorthand is pointing to the 6. So I'd say 6 o'clock. The shorthand is pointing to the 8. So I would say 8 o'clock. And then over here, it's another matching where you're going to read that clock and then draw a line to the clock that matches it. So right here, it's pointing to the 11. So that line goes to 11 o'clock. Right here, it's pointing to 3. So that line goes to 3 o'clock. 4 goes down to 4 o'clock. And then on this page, I've seen a few of you send me this one, so thank you for that. This one, you're going to look at the time that it says, and then you're actually going to draw that little shorthand. And what's kind of tricky sometimes on these clocks is making sure that the hand that you're making, the little line with the arrow, is shorter than this minute one. And so it says 10 o'clock. So I don't actually want to make it go all the way to the 10. It's actually shorter than the one that's pointing to the 12. This one says 8 o'clock, so I'm going to make a shorthand that goes to 8. This one says 9 o'clock, so I'm going to make a shorthand that goes to 9. So I think that you guys understand that and know what to do. You guys have done a great job of sending me your work, trying different strategies. So good job.